do it. We're gonna get going here on SPY first, and then we'll hit the meme stocks, don't worry, but we've got what looks to be a full-blown crash developing in SPY, and I've been forecasting this since last week. If you've been following the channel, you know that, and I think that we're gonna start seeing the third motive wave in this 5-wave push lower, which will be the strongest wave and could take us to near previous lows from last year. But we'll get into that a little bit more. Just looking at the minute chart here, we had a little price knot occur between 448 and 449-ish. Not quite that high. And price broke down. I was actually expecting to grind sideways here because that would be the most annoying thing. And typically that's what I find SPY doing, is just the most annoying thing. It just drives me nuts. So at any rate, as soon as price began to break down below that level, I re-entered into my SPXU call. I'm trading the January expiration. That's the LEAP contract at the $10 strike. And I'm glad I did. Hopped right back in time. In fact, I'm just going to pull that up right now. This is the price of that contract. I'm doing an Elliott wave study here as well. Might as well. You can apply the logic anywhere, really. After all, it is just a game of logic. It's math. It's hardly even theory. It's just the way it goes. And you can see that I have a 5-wave motive wave push in the sub-minuet degree shown in yellow, completing minuet degrees 1 and 2. If this is the correct count, then we've had a sideways correction in position 2, which is very, very bullish. We're going to see the price pop higher, possibly as high as 2.3, which is $230. I entered in at 142 today. You can see that I initially got in around 108 or 109, sold at 140-ish, and then I waited out the corrective phase. I'm back in now. We actually need to get a little higher probably to really confirm bullish continuation, but I'm not too worried about it. Really what you want to see is the price pass the end of the initial impulse, and wave B is not part of the initial impulse, it's part of the corrective phase, and B can set new highs, new lows, and when it does, it's always very annoying. Anyway, I think at this point, I'm just going to be holding that contract for a while because as it is in the money and I expect the price of SPY, which is the inverse of SPXU, to continue to drop, that this contract will appreciate as gamma, delta increase. Vega, I think, will also go up. Really? I'm just thinking this is it. This is the big crash I've been waiting for quite a while. Let's go ahead and take a look at SPY again, and we'll zoom out into the hourly time frame to on the line chart. Again, I'm not going to be looking at the chat right now. I really appreciate if you are watching live. That's fantastic. Thanks for tuning in. Just trying to get the video done. My video software is on lock right now, which is unfortunate, but hey, if I learn to do the videos without it, then why should I pay for it anyway? Let's go ahead and take a look at this leading diagonal triangle through here. I have it shown in yellow, and I also have the Fibonacci extension shown here, which might be a little cluttery. So we're going to take that out, and I've been following this pattern. There's an overlap between the initial impulse down and the corrective wave 4, and that gives us what we call a leading diagonal triangle when we have the alternating waveform between opposing trendline touches of motive and corrective. And basically what we start doing, we start to count wave extensions where the third wave has 5 waves inside of it, and before we complete the third wave, we start another extension. And so we just start counting 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Right now, I don't have it labeled that way because we are still technically in a corrective phase from this big push up, what I called the everything rally, which I was calling for last year. And so what I have is impulse A at the minor degree and then wave B out here. And what we're looking for now is wave C. And that's where I use the extension tool to find a target. I just take the top of the initial impulse. I come down to the bottom of the initial impulse, which wouldn't be this low because this would be part of a corrective wave. And I pull it to either the high or the last high in the corrective bounce, and we get a target at 438 with an extension at 430.68. You can see this was bullish reversal confirmation a while ago, way back here. And you can see I even stopped my count. This is because I got stopped out of my short position, and thank goodness, because the markets climbed, and I'm glad I got out because that would have been brutal. And so now I'm looking for a correction to this impulse, and I believe this really is just an ABC wave. It's 3 waves up. Even if it's not only an ABC move, if it is part of a 5-wave form heading higher, a motive wave, then we could actually see the price retrace clear down to 418, 416 before we invalidate the bullish count, which means that we do have a large possibility of a large drop even in a bullish trend. Even if you're bullish, you've got to be watching that level, and we may see price reach it and pass it, and that would suck because then we would be in some sort of expanding pattern. probably an ascending broadening wedge of sorts, it'd be wicked, confusing, and a bunch of retail traders would get wrecked. If you look around on YouTube, there's people sharing the smart money versus dumb money chart, where smart money is super bearish and dumb money is super bullish. And that makes a lot of sense to me. Let's go ahead and look at AMC because earnings were released, and I, of course, was just behind the ball there because I'm not paying that much attention. And we broke down out of this ascending broadening wedge, targeting being in that pattern towards 43, working our way down there now, passing below the previous low, which bounced that bearish continuation, means that we can actually put down a target through here. And if you're a long-term follower of the channel, you already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the top of the initial impulse, to the bottom of the initial impulse, and then I'm going to go to the top of the corrective trend. And our first target was, let's have a look here, towards 467. I have a significant level of support and resistance at 469 marks, so we're just going to go back down here. This is the sideways trading range I was talking about. Let's see how tall this is. From 452 to 545, it's like $1 in a stock that's less than $10. That's a pretty big trading range for sideways grind. This is what I was anticipating. We're going to watch implied volatility drop as price moves through this trading range. That's going to depreciate the value of contracts, like calls specifically. And I think this isn't really all that bullish anymore. It's unfortunate, but AMC has got a lot more sideways grind to do, and I wouldn't be positioned bullishly myself. I'm not trading AMC or GameStop right now. Ape grinding sideways, really nothing here, you know. That's just the way it's been for a while now. Looking at GameStop, we've passed below bearish continuation at 2083 and have set a new low, which means that this impulse C isn't over yet. We're going for the extension target at 1975, which is further than I expected to fall, but that's how it goes sometimes. This is looking pretty bearish at this point. The daily candle looks wicked. And when I think of GameStop, I think tech sector because I think gaming. I don't know why that happens like that. But let's go look at NVIDIA because it's graphics cards. I don't know what the connection is there. Anyway, we passed bearish continuation at 440 and price has plummeted, reaching that target at 425.98. NVIDIA price target reached. There you go. I was calling the top at 473 before it even happened when we got the breakout from this pennant. And so here we are reaching this topping pattern, breaking down. This is probably a double top with a small handle. We're in a new impulse heading lower. Implied volatility is increasing here, which should be disconcerting if you're bullish. It really should be because there's a massive gap on that chart from the earnings. Wow. Let's go look at AMD as well because I like to look at both. AMD, of course, is not really following NVIDIA. It's just grinding sideways, and that's what I was anticipating. You can see I put a pennant through here on these blue lines, and that's pretty much where price is finding some support now. Yeah, that's probably a horizontal level support resistance, so it's going to be like a plus or minus along that 109, 110 level. I don't know, maybe like $1 or so. At any rate, we're grinding sideways. This is the analysis. This has been the forecast. We're just going to go sideways here for a bit. We'll wait for a breakout. Once we get the breakout, then we'll be putting a price target down. But for now, that's all there is. Let's go to Tesla next. And here I've been looking for a downward push as well. We were in corrective wave B, pushed lower. There seems to be a little pennant here. I'd probably do this on a smaller time frame. Push below the last previous low. We've confirmed a move down past bearish continuation. Again, looking to test this uptrend. The target's 230.88. Going to Apple because Apple is doing incredible things. It's just falling. I keep showing, like, hypothesizing what a bounce may look like, but it's not happening. In fact, what looks like we're building a corrective wave 4, which is, yes, down, and it is definitely a sharp correction. We could have impulse 1, 2, and this is all wave 3. This is 4. And then 5. Now, wave 5 typically looks like wave 1 in size and amplitude. So wave 1 here was pretty quick and swift, very short. And that looks like very similar here. We've got this big bullish divergence on Apple. So, finally, I think we're finally reaching the end of that initial impulse. That's an initial impulse. We'll see how high the corrective target reaches. Let's see if we can find a significant level of support and resistance. Probably 184, somewhere in here. Again, this is just a hypothetical thing. Don't hold me to this. This is not a confirmed target. But if we do bounce up to 184 and then have a downward breakout, the price targets are still really bearish, and there's some significant levels of support and resistance that could easily be targeted by wave 4. We've finished the first wave of wave 4, I believe. So I'm going to go ahead and mark A, and we are looking for wave B. Whatever it is, I don't know. It could be a reverse triangle. It could be a Contraction triangle, I don't know. Who cares? Okay, Apple, NVIDIA, AMD, SPY. I don't want this to be too long. They get too lengthy, people don't watch them. But geez, the markets really do look like they're crashing. Let's go to SQQQ. I am holding some shares of SQQQ. We're breaking up and out of this channel, which is really, really bullish because this could be impulse 1, corrective wave 2, and we could be working on a third wave extension through here. And when I see these sorts of pumps with higher highs and matching corrective phases, as I say, sharp, 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 there isn't a sideways correction between each of these peaks. That tells me that we could be going through multiple wave extensions, and we could be, our Elliott wave count for this motive wave could pass 5. When you can think of it like that. You take a 5-wave motive wave. If you get that third wave extension, you're adding 5 waves in there, right? And so you can start to say that motive waves have increasing numbers of waves and just count extensions that way, because sometimes the extensions won't be all that clear. This is one such example. We're going to be looking for a lot of motive waves heading up in this short ETF of QQQ. Let's go. And if you haven't picked up yet, I like to trade those short ETFs. We've reached a price target here on QQQ at 367.43. Price target reached. What can you say? We peaked out in what appeared to be an ending diagonal triangle between bearish divergence on some time frame. Not this time frame, but I do have that line drawn there. Maybe it's on the daily. Yep, it's on the daily. That's a big bearish divergence. Right here typically signals that we have a correction coming in. If the divergence breaks, then you're completing a higher wave degree of an extension. Here, that's not the case. We had plenty of divergence back here, and now we see that we have the true corrective wave coming through. Implied volatility looks like it's starting to tick up as price is heading down, indicating that the new motive trend is down. It's crash time. It's totally crash time. Let's go look at TNX. This is the 10-year treasury yield. We've been kind of moving up through this channeling looking thing. I don't expect that to change at all. Again, this is crazy to me because we're seeing yields rise. That means premiums are coming down. Bonds are being sold. And I'm speculating that bonds are being sold to meet margin requirements, possibly, or margin calls are liquidating positions, hence alleviating the need to use treasury as collateral for margin. It's hard to say what the relationship is. It is very complicated, and without a lot of information, you can't really say it's one way or the other, but we do see a correlation between yields, dollar strength, and equities, and right now equities are going down. I've been talking about the dollar bounce from hell for a long time, and it's been a while. Price, or the strength of the dollar, came below 100, which was a significant level, but guess what? I'm calling that wave B. Wave B again, setting a low. It's going to create a bear trap here in the dollar strength, and I think we're going to see the dollar rise and reach as high as 104.89, challenging this downtrend. In which case, watch out, the dollar could rally here really strongly. It really could. Inflation data, CPI, I should say. It's not inflation, but colloquially it's known as inflation. It drives me nuts. But CPI data is coming out tomorrow, and if that comes out high, the Fed's going to tighten monetary policy. That's going to strengthen the dollar. That's what I see going on. And personally, I wouldn't be surprised if we see 106.84 in this broadening pattern through here. It's absolutely insane. Stay safe, hedge your bets. Let's go look at PLBY before I sign off for today. I've been trading PLBY. I took a lot of profits, reduced my position when the price was between $1.90 and $2. And I did that because I figured before earnings we would see a big slump, and that's exactly what it's been. It's been a big slump, huge slump. Zoom into the 15-minute time frame, and I'll turn on a different set of drawings here. And I've revised this to show ABC, 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 because that seems to be what's going on. We just continue to grind sideways, setting higher lows and higher highs as we go, alternating between corrective and motive waveforms all throughout here. To me, it's just got to be the bottom. It looks like a bottom to me. It really does. We're going to see what earnings look like. I believe that there was some revenue that was realized in the previous quarter, or I should say 2 quarters ago, but that wasn't reported in the last earnings. And that was from the Fung Group that is selling licensed product for PLBY in China. And I know that the Chinese economy is having a really hard time, that they've entered into deflation, and that they may even enter some sort of stimulus strategy over there, which I don't know how that's going to impact the US. I do know that the cost of shipping is coming up, and that we're clearing out the inventories that built up in 2020, as well as the savings that consumers had in 2020. So really, I think long term we're looking for a recession here. But in terms of PLBY, that's new market share So it's better than no market share. You know, even if it is like lackluster spending in China, it's still additional revenue that wasn't there for Playboy before, right? And so I think when we see that added into the quarterly earnings, that will look really good. We're gonna need an update on Lovers and Honey Burdette, of course. It'd be nice if Playboy could just sell those companies and get rid of them, take them off the balance sheet, but honestly, it's probably going to be a while. What we're really hoping for is revised guidance in Playboy from the company. There's a lot of analysts projecting a $3 to $5 price target here, so I think it's totally fair to target a 200% rally through here. Earnings could easily do that. It's not very likely. I went ahead and purchased some 250 calls, and the spread there was like $5, so I'm $10 down on that, just like right off of the bat, which isn't the best, obviously, but I think we have a chance at a big pop here. We really do. We're kind of coming to the end of a C wave, encountering an uptrend support. I'm really hoping, but it's like, you know, the last few earnings haven't been that great, and there's no reason to suspect that these won't be the same. And so we'll see how it goes. Right now, the profit I'm making shorting SPY is covering the losses I'm accruing in Playboy. I'm still holding shares long, just speculating here that we're going to get a nice pop higher, and if we do, the first target's 250. So we'll see how it goes, but yeah, I guess we'll know by tomorrow. I can't day trade right now, and so that's because I switched my account from cash to margin, which means I can't exit the position after I enter it the same day, which, you know, means that I have to time my entries really well. I'm really hoping earnings come out good. If they don't, you know, if Playboy dumps again, it'll be like a huge dump. Let's just talk about it. Like, we're really close to bearish continuation at 160. I think we saw 164 today. And so it's like, ooh, we're really close. 163. I haven't really looked at the chart in a bearish way in a while. But I mean, it's hard to, because we got these higher lows. I guess we really start looking at bearish continuation at 151. But the RSI here is reaching oversold, which is pretty typical at the end of a corrective motive wave like wave C, completing a larger count. Again, I really think this could be one, and this could all be part of a big two wave, or we could be building into multiple wave extensions through here. So I don't know. I've got a lot to say about Playboy. It's pretty speculative, really, but okay.